Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's me. It's RDV, not Captain Frugal. I'm better. No, I'm just kidding. Frugal's awesome. Check out Captain Frugal if you get a chance to. I'm here for a retrospective with the one, the only Professor Pixel. Why? Because it's unfortunate news.
Nobody.
Zach could not make it tonight, and Eric Breen is no longer here for tonight. Something came up, more like daisies. Just kidding. He's still alive. Eric Breen, we wish you well on your journey and your adventure, moving giant freaking comic boxes around. I'm not jealous of you. I'm just jealous of what's in those boxes because I want to buy some of those.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
Yes.
but tonight though, we are talking about a character. My first reading ever. I've never read a Wonder Woman story. And that's right. We're talking about George Perez, 1987, post-crisis, first appearance of Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Six-issue story called God and Monsters.
Gordon Monsters.
Yes.
And we're going to go ahead and share the book so that way we can take a look at this beautiful, beautiful work. I've actually read this before. I have. So I got to reread it again, and it's truly a fantastic story. I was a lot like Bangman. I hadn't actually sat down and read like a whole Wonder Woman arc of any kind.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I love Wonder Woman when she's, everywhere else except her own book. Yeah.
Warning, there are depictions of rape in this storytelling. They may trigger you.
We're
Also, there's also depictions of lots of skin and cleavage that may trigger you.
If that triggers you, you're on the wrong channel.
Right. Yes.
But yes, no, but the art itself is just worth talking about here. It's astounding.
Yes. George Perez has a little forward in this first issue, thanking John Byrne, basically for inspiring him. But I guess maybe this one doesn't have it because you have the 101.
Yeah, it's online, so it's just not.
Basically, what John Byrne had said, he said, "Hey, I was inspired this by John Byrne as what he's doing over at and with Superman, along with Jerry Ordway, also Frank Miller reinventing Batman, and I guess he had talked to the editor at the time, Janice Bergens, I can't remember what her name was, but she basically, he basically said like, hey, you know what, we got all these cool people on here, but he basically had sat down with her and says like, well, who's working on Wonder Woman? Because at the time Perez was busy with doing other things. He had other stories he was working on. Mm-hmm. So realizing they didn't know, because he said this story here, Wonder Woman post-crisis, big deal. This had Final Crisis. Everyone had huge top talent on it. And he basically was afraid that this character was going to be buried because they didn't have any notable talent on it. So George Perez said, you know what? I'll do it, but I'll work on it, but I'll do for 6 months. And the craziest thing is, he said, he's going through the 6 months. He's like, I got so wrapped up into it. He's like, I just want to continue where I just did more and more and more. George Perez not only does the art, but he also does the storytelling here. He's co-plotting. I forgot what the guy's name is. It's not. Well, I know Len Wein eventually came on, but who was the other one? Was it Scott something?
It's going to have a full list here in a second. I'm sorry, I don't have it off the top of my head.
Greg Potter. That's what it was. Greg Potter. Yes. This is, like I said, this is one of those really interesting storytellings because George Perez said when he went into this, he wanted to make it authentic, being he had got as far as inspired by looking at what Walt Simonson was doing with Thor later on. He wanted to bring mythology in this, Greek mythology. So he'd been a really big fan of Greek mythology. He brought it in. He really livened it up. I mean, this is, like I say, this is kind of mature for readers. It's as you see, it starts off, like this caveman basically killing this pregnant woman because he lost the arm in battle. That's a key thing because that later on we'll get to it. That soul you saw depart plays a pivotal role in this. Right now, basically, you had in this story, you got basically Zeus listening to his children bicker. Ares just wants, says like the humans they only will respect us and believe in us, as if we rule by fear. Where Artemis, Athena, Hermes, and I think it's Persephone. We're all and Aphrodite. They're all saying like no, humans, it's time for a change. You know, so basically their idea was we'll create a whole new race, of beings.
Little people, you know.
Instead of being you see the primitive stuff, they'll create a new where they actually will love and respect. So basically they're responsible for going behind. Because Zeus basically said screws up. You guys saw that he got tired of it. He left. They even tried to go to Hera. Hera's like, no, I want nothing to part of this. And how dare you ask me to betray my husband behind his back? So they decided to basically go and take the souls of all these slain women, of all these beings, and turn them into the first Amazons. And because they know, and what happens in this first issue, I think it's the first or second issue, because I read these all together. It's kind of blurs, but you see basically they end up like Hippolyta becomes the queen of the Amazons. Who's Hippolyta? She was basically the woman the braided cave woman that was slain by her, I guess, lover. So and then because of this, because she was pregnant, later on they basically says like they basically allow her to have a child, and that's where we get Diana, who's basically born out of clay. If you watched 1984 Wonder Woman, for you those who don't really know, it gave a part of the story, that was in there where they show young Diana trying to compete and all that stuff. That actually was part of it. I mean, it's almost accurate, but not completely accurate.
Yeah, they go ahead and use that storyline of Diana fighting to become the one who will go ahead and lead the new mission to the land of men, and that's in the 77 series. But what I really love is with this is I have a channel called Pixel Art, and digging into just the expansion of the mythos of Wonder Woman is fantastic. I mean, we spend the entire issue not knowing Wonder Woman. She's not here.
It's all Greek lore.
It's all Greek mythology put in and allowing the Amazons to be created. It's truly it's astounding just how good it is. And with that, it's just I on top of the art, the story is just as good. It matches up together into this beautiful love child.
I want to point out they're like we placed it here before. It's a cavern, the Well of Rebirth. I'm thinking like, I remember Rebirth when Wonder Woman was actually good in Rebirth. Along with the other characters. I was like,
on to later. Oh, also, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
What you got there, Kroger?
Oh no, it's
Full
Red Bull. Oh. I have wings.
Do you know?
I do. But no, I mean, if Breen were here, he would be able to tell us just so much more.
The detailing, it's I guess from the first issue. According to I was looking it up to see because DC Comics fandom database basically shows that Perez basically did all the penciling, and then the inking literally was done by I believe by was it Mike? Is it Joe Costanza that does the inking?
I don't know. Well, I had the list up for a few minutes, but
I gotta get back up because I had it too.
Yes.
Let me look.
And all the women were born. Get some clothes.
Here, let me look. There we go. I got it here. All right. So interesting to point out that the inkers was Bruce D. Patterson, but the colorist is the one I was thinking of. The colorist, Tatiana Wood, Wally Wood's wife. So she had just, she'd basically been working with her husband, and basically during ECK's time in EC Comics, that was during the 50s, 60s, and then she started in the early 70s with titles like House of Secrets, Our Army at War, Tarzan, The Brave and the Bold, and many others. But apparently everybody knows her basically from Grant Morrison's Animal Man and Len Wein's Swamp Thing.
I just want to make a small mention, and I'm sure Maranya will respect it more. This shot specifically makes me think of the old Shazam TV show where they have the Greek gods to basically say, "Hey, Billy,
hi,
listen to Mentor." Yeah, exactly like that, and they give lessons.
I think of Happy Gilmore, where Stubbs up in the clouds. He's looking up. He gives him the thumbs up.
I think of Monty Python and God. I know.
Yes. Basically, yeah. So, like, we see Diana there, or actually not. It was Diana. It's Hippolyta. So basically, Hercules and his crew came in and basically, challenged them, but then he basically tricks Hippolyta and the rest of them into basically basically he drops
way that's how her name is pronounced.
Hippolyta.
There's no way that's how it's pronounced.
Wonder Woman's mother. Okay, I'll go with that.
Liz, yes, Wonder Woman's mother. Sure, yes. Go ahead.
So basically, Hercules invades with his group of soldiers. Goes to Themyscira. Actually, no, they're not at Themyscira yet. They're on some land. They're not at Themyscira yet. So basically, they invade them. The Amazons hold their own, and Hercules is basically held at knife point by Wonder Woman's mother. And he basically is like, oh, no one's ever best me battle. I'm kind of intrigued now. And they go to basically do the horizontal tangle and stuff. He offers her a drink. Turns out it's drugged, and he says, "No woman is my equal." Basically, he becomes a very misogynist prick.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. So she is one of the goddesses appears to her and says, it's time for you to, my child, because she's basically, Hercules leaves her and has her chained up, and she basically frees. She lures a guard in. She's standing there in the nude with a little shackle on. She's like, "This is what you want," and basically seduces them, and then basically knocks them out. They revolt. Then they're basically given the island of Themyscira as Poseidon appears and parts the seas for them, and they walk to their new island. So basically, they're given a whole new purpose. This eventually leads into the whole, as far as I said, the whole thing with Hippolyta or Hippolyta.
It's coming up as Hippolyte, something like that.
I don't know. I don't speak Greek. I'm American. We butcher everything. So, but I'm a little further ahead though. But right now, you can see her now. He's just showing it her, come back to here, my.
It's because Ares pretty much wants to, basically say,
Ares wants control of everything. So, but
you're nothing like those women.
Yeah, you see him basically pushing her aside. Hercules, your legions are being assembled. They're getting ready to basically invade Themyscira.
And then she melts.
And he just eats a woman, and he turns out it's Ares posing as a woman.
Wow.
And he laughs, and then, one of his creations.
He said, creations. It's not him. Come here, let me show you my love. I don't think so.
I mean, in Xena, they made her Ares and Ultimate Universe the god of love.
By the way, Graphic Man, the puppets wanted me to ask if you're welcome to a reading after this. Just let them know.
Or if you've read this, you want to come on and talk about it.
That's true.
We are missing our old man tonight. He decided to leave us.
we need a replacement brain, and
Well, I mean, would it be replacement? It'd kind of be an upgrade, wouldn't you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you don't see Brain with his wall just decked out in books, do you? No,
Uh,
he has them all over the place.
Hopefully, Breen doesn't hurt himself was the only thing. Otherwise, he's gonna have to use a walker to get around, or he'll have to use that cane he got as a gag for his 40th birthday. Sitting in his
Graphic
room.
Man would accept the link just to hop on, correct us on how to say Hippolyte, and say bye.
I mean, we'll just go with Wonder Woman's hot mom. I haven't read Wonder Woman. Well,
wow, never. Okay,
this was our first reading too. At least for me, it was my first reading. Pixel had read this before. This is my first Wonder Woman anything I've read.
it's my second reading of my first reading.
I take it back. I don't really count though, because I read the Hostess Wonder Woman ad.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's right.
But this is George Perez art. Like I said, George Perez is such a talented individual. God rest his soul. I mean, he just without him, I don't think Wonder Woman would have been it basically continued going on.
What is it with Wonder Woman getting the creators who just have the strongest fetishes, huh?
I don't know. I mean, is it really a fetish or is it just like a normal thing? Because I mean, everybody has one.
No.
Everyone has one.
Specific things, but I'm not going to go into that.
Yes. So basically, he's bested by the Amazons. You're here, and like, we're gonna go with a hippo lady. Let's get
hippo lady. That's great. Wonder Woman's mom, hippo lady.
Yes. She basically said it's funny because Hercules is like, basically he's gonna throw with a tree and showing how strong this guy is. But as she proves, it's like brute. Its strength means nothing when she basically can just use her whole entire his wit against him. She's basically outsmarts him, which I thought was kind of clever.
Because did you say that she uses his wit against him?
Yeah, his lack of wit. Cause see, there's a sword right there. Yeah, it's just surrender or die. Trust you. I look at the guy who's like, oh shit, she did that to him. This guy could just lure a tree around, and she just basically bested him. Oh, haha, Zeus, girl, by Zeus, girl, Hercules is his press. He doesn't call her name. He just says, girl. That was a worthy and he's just crying on the inside. He's like, I freaking lost a woman. Later, yeah. So this is where they all get drunk and just lie with men, and then bad things go.
Wow.
He's like, here, have a drink with me, and she's like, oh, sure, I accept this. Oh, crap, you poisoned me. He's like, huh. Yeah, Hippolyte
or something. Hippolyte.
Yes. Well, she's now Hippolyte.
I don't think you pronounce that. Huh.
She can't. She doesn't have a high tolerance, so she's Hippolyte.
Dude, don't call women hippos. Come on, RDV. Come on.
I mean, Moonlight had a hippo lady. Yes.
Reminds me of Madagascar.
But don't worry, we'll get to the fat shaming later. It's in a couple issues later.
Oh no, we're not going to issue by issue. We're just going to go over this and try to extend half an hour at least.
Well, no, I was covering 6 issues, so that's my goal tonight, whether you want to or not.
Well, yeah, but to show all that,
yes, no, it won't take that long. You don't have to show page panel by panel. You can just show page by page. You realize that?
Okay. Hello, it's me. Look what you did. You fell prey to man. How do you feel now, Hippolyte?
I gotta say,
stupid, don't you?
Even Black Cat. Even though I wanted to start at John Byrne's Wonder Woman run, and it was the issue 102 or 101. Even Black Cat's like, no, start at Perez. That's where you probably want to start right there, and I'll keep reading it because that's. And there you go. He's like, she basically uses her sexuality. How many women do that today? In shows.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't last long. What you?
Yes. I can't. Like I said, today's stuff. I don't think. I mean, as far as culture, they'll let a woman allow to use it. They'll consider that to be it's sexist.
But then, actually, to do that and then to just slaughter, because that's what they do.
Yeah,
they get
all topless.
Yeah, they get the gift and they're like men. they become the man haters, of course.
Yes, she's the new
Uh,
WWE champion.
that's right. And look, we shall slit these accursed throat from ear to ear.
Oh,
And
smoker.
there's Hippolyte, whatever.
Yeah, and the reason
Wonder
why
Woman's ma.
the reason why Wonder Woman's mother was chosen to be this because she has a kind soul, a kind heart. And as Athena basically trusted her, says, "Yeah, we do not kill people. We're not going to kill them." And this girl, who's a second in command, who was made to be second in command, cannot handle being second in command. She wants revenge, and and that's the way as Ares' way. We achieve no glory by embracing the dark gods of power, which is true. And she's got some guns, man. They all got guns. Look at those shoulders.
I know, right? Those arms. They can kill me at any time.
So she gives her girdle. Yes, Amazons had girdles to shape those figures.
And then they run away. Boy.
Yes. So then, as you said here, you'll see Poseidon basically later on.
No, that's not Poseidon.
It's not going by panel, Dimwit. I told you it's gonna take forever. You do that.
I want to give the art the respect that it's still.
It's right there. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Poseidon does come in, part the sea, and say, "Hey, you failed. How do you feel now? Pretty shitty, huh?" And they go ahead and they give them their own society. Yay, society!
Calm down there. You're being disrespectful to the Wonder Woman stuff on the screen. I'm joking around.
I can joke around all I want.
Toxic masculinity showing. I see it.
All
right, so here we go. Get the birth of Diana from the clay.
Boom.
She appears in the sand, looking down. Oh, crap! There's a baby in the sand. She's basically blessed by all the goddesses, including Hermes, the power of flight and speed. Hermes.
Hey.
I was like, he's the only guy there. All the women, you see him all up there. He's like, "Ooh, can I be part of this too, guys? Oh my gosh!
Let me feel this. Come on, let me get in touch with my feminine side."
They have the training stuff here. She basically, and they show all her feats off, her strength, her speed, her agility stuff, and then something happens. Yes.
The cry.
The Philippus scream. The Queen Philippus.
There we go.
Something has happened, in the world of man. And this basically they have to figure out they have to send somebody, so they're going to hold a little tournament.
But Diana is not allowed, of course.
Playing the reindeer games because she's the mom's daughter, and the mom doesn't want her daughter in battle.
Somehow, in a society of
politics, really, she's gonna spare her own child from being chosen. That's
but the whole thing is that somehow in a society with a very limited number of women. I mean, I know they look like a lot out there. There's quite a few, but there's never any new ones. You don't
have to. Like 3,000 of them on the island alone.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say you need it, but somehow,
they can't show all. They can't all have screen time. Okay.
What a surprise!
And I gotta say, look at that. Look at Diana's face. The whole thing. That is gorgeous.
My favorite panel. No, I gotta go back to panel by panel.
Oh,
yes, because it's worth it.
We're pushing back the She-Hulk review. It's another hour.
There is one thing, because she's won and all that, and here's something to help prove your worth and show you're ready. And she's
yes, this is the latest thing. She's like, prove your worth. The flash and lightning, or what was it called? Go back. What was it called?
What? The abomination. This abomination since the tragedy.
But they give it a name later on. I think it's called the
Flashing Thunder. It's right here.
Flashing Thunder. That's what it was.
And she does the armband thing.
She's like, oh my gosh, how am I doing this? What manner is this? And because I love she's look the Themyscirian just whips out a gun. She has no idea. I have no idea. I guess we'll just do this. And then just like Literally, she would go all over the place with this shirt shooting everybody.
And that's basically how she became.
And
Well,
the other problem I have with that is that she's shooting the armband bracelets. They deflect the bullets.
yeah.
Bullets bounce off walls.
Well, the thing is that, comic books.
Magic.
But no, this is really the highlight of the story for me. Just this
This
beginning.
last panel with where they're showing off
Oh
everything.
wow, that too.
Yes.
But
Yes, that's
much.
the burn. So,
Much. Yes, where we could go page by page and talk about how Ares now has to, kind of basically say, guess what? We're screwing up everything for you.
But I gotta say though, Tatiana Wood's coloring on this, is cool. On top of Perez's pencils.
Yes, inking and coloring on top of the pencils, it's very important because we talk about Jack Kirby all the time. We know what happens with Jack, and
if you get a bad inker, you make your art look bad. And I think his art alone is good, but her coloring adding to this
has to help.
And then I think I said also. Well, she doesn't do the inking. She does coloring.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying that also is important.
Choosing what colors, the shade and everything. So you see her all dressed in her centennial gear, or bicentennial gear.
Listen, it's the colors of the thing.
Ares is making his move. You also in the direction of Steve Trevor. Yes, Colonel Steve Trevor is sent by his boss, who he hates. He's basically he's been at a desk job because being a rebellious pilot, is sent to go towards Themyscira. But before we get to that,
lasso.
The lasso of truth is made. That no god or mortal may ever break it. That's basically it's forged. Hermes is this basically speedy delivery.
Listen, hey, getting in touch with my feminine side. Delivered.
Actually, to go back up, he looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Give me your tots.
Nice.
Listen, Diana, just give me your tots. No. But this is truly one of the most.
Yes, and for those who are wondering, of course, this is 1987, so he's a former Vietnam soldier, a pilot in the Air Force. He's been the past 3 years. He had been basically grounded at a desk job for being insubordinate. He's working for a corrupt general. So he's sent in the midnight to go take this plane out, which is for a test flight in the middle of nowhere, which he thinks he's suspicious. Turns out he's his co-pilot in the back, his navigator, his goose, is Ares, and Ares wants to drop a bomb on Themyscira.
We're gonna nuke them. Women. An Amazon who flies. Yes.
Yeah, so she's like giant metal bird wings flying us, throwing some kind of metal object. She throws her lasso of truth on it, swings it back, and it goes towards the plane.
Boom, and it's over.
The plane crashes into the water. She's told to basically put aside her anger towards men and go save the pilot. That it wasn't his fault. Basically, it was like, I guess it was like I can't remember if it said Ares was involved to her or not. But they come back. There's the real general, the one being possessed by Ares, is now burned, left like that. Like, that's horrible. He's because the officer, the actual general, is like, I never gave him that order. Where's that son of a bitch? I'm gonna remake him. He's like, oh shit, he's dead. Colonel Travers is gone. He went where? He's like, but there's no, and they find out later there's no orders were official. Yep. So they think that Trevor becomes a wanted man. He's why he wanted for murder and questioning. He wakes up on Themyscira, and man, he's supposed to be like his 50s. I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but or 40s, maybe early 40s. He looks like he's 50, 60 years old there. I mean, and of course, this also continues the tradition where he basically calls her his angel, his guardian angel. All he knows is that he's been told by by I believe it was Hermes, that his destiny and her destiny are entwined, but she doesn't know how. I'll go back. That was actually, if you go back panel page.
Well, now it doesn't want to go back, does it? It
Well,
doesn't.
all right, okay. Well, there you go. The woman up there with the group guys there. That is Eddie. Eddie Candy, I believe it is. Etta Candy, Caddy.
We love it.
But as you saw, that's what she was also in the first original Wonder Woman movie. She worked with Steve. She was like his personal assistant.
Yes.
She's a lieutenant in this. And she's a little hefty, which I'm surprised. Like they kept in the comic books, but they did race swap her though. That was funny. Like they even race swapped her. I was like, she's not a ginger.
I don't remember that.
In the first movie, yes, I believe they made her Hispanic.
I forgot about all of that. I only thought about her in the Wonder Woman 70. Huh?
Maybe didn't. No, she just looked. So I can't remember. But there we go. Hermes with his short skirt on.
Hey.
It's see Wally West. We just don't know yet.
Jay Garrick is jealous of that headpiece. He's like, oh, it's mine. Yeah.
You say head face?
I said headpiece.
Oh, I said head face. Oh, Etta Candy. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dominic Powell coming with the knowledge here, saying Etta Candy did lose weight years later in the pre-New 52, and she and Steve got married. Oh, really?
There you go.
So and so basically, they instead of having him be with Wonder Woman, he ended up marrying Etta Candy.
It's a love interest kind of thing.
And to point out this, Etta Candy is married. She does have a ring on her finger, which Wonder Woman does question later on. Here we get to Julia. Julia, I can't remember what her last name is, but she's a professor. Julia. God, what is her name? That's gonna drive me nuts.
It's going to show up here in a second if you know.
If you know.
And basically, they're showing she's trying to share the knowledge of, there are these women.
Oh yeah, Julia Capitelis. And at first, she's basically she can't understand her Diana's language. She realizes that it's actually a form of Greek, and they start. She touches the medallion that which Diana had gotten from Ares' daughter. So that gives them a bond, like a psychic link.
What a woman.
Then we see Ares is, I guess, his warrior's tree. The warrior's tree. There's their sons. They're idiots, and they basically they're gonna have the coffin. Her name's, I guess, Rot.
Yeah, they don't have good names.
No.
They have bad names.
Demos. Yeah. Demos is a guy with a serpent stuff with hair. Or his beard is actually alive. It's got little snakes in his beard. It's weird. Ancient Greek fashion, men wore short skirts. Yes, and women wore long robes. Men could be more active in the short ones. Yeah. I know, Marania. I was just making fun of it. It looked like a skirt.
Well, it is, basically.
Yeah. Steve is basically dropped off by Wonder Woman in the hospital. He wakens and all. And he realizes they're going to they're going to kill him. Because they're actually working. They're working for the Ares' son Demos.
They're the bad guys.
Yeah, so they want to end up permanently, and because they know his face entwined to Wonder Woman, and he basically knocks him out. And then as he leaves, one of the bad people shoot the guard, and it's blamed on saying that when he escaped that Steve killed the guy. Etta knows that's crap. He didn't do that. Meanwhile, Diana returns home with Julia to her apartment, meets her daughter. Daughter being a little brat, it goes kind of upset and like, I guess I can't bring anybody over because you brought Wonder Woman over. Sorry, Billy, we can't study together because he'll have the hots for Wonder Woman right away. Etta Etta basically in her apartment. Steve shows up, explains everything, what's going on. Yeah, here's a scene with Julia and her daughter.
I can't believe this.
And so basically, Yeah, she's just like, oh, I can't do this. And then you see the statue right there. She just don't give her a gift. Turns out to be Rot, the demon. She awakens, and then we get down to hear a scream. Oh no! And then we see Rot standing up in the living room
Just picks her up and jumps. I do love that look though. Yeah, for Wonder Woman, you know.
with the flannel on.
Yeah, it's got something to it. And there it is.
Yes. And then you see Rot, and basically she's stolen the youth out of the daughter, or she calls herself Decay. But she's basically anything she touches rots and decays, basic thing.
Essentially.
And then she drops the house on them.
That sounds like fun.
That was issue 3. Issue 4 continues the story on where Wonder Woman battles against Decay. Property damage. That's terrible. Imagine the neighbor surprise. It's a peaceful little area, and then you see a woman who basically is this like dressed in like
living termites.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They one
not said, living termites. Just their touch is like instant. One of
the neighbors says like, "Oh, is like I've heard of termites, but this is ridiculous." It's like, and then they see her like, and they see the
it's right monster. There. It's right there. Yeah. I've heard of termites. But this is ridiculous. That's great.
And then she's like, "Oh, are you injured?" And they go, "What's a monster done?" And it's like, "Oh, it's." So Wonder Woman basically flies after her, like, oh, so this used to be such a nice neighborhood. What's going on? It's like a little comment.
Yep, she has to take back her tiara too.
There's not a lot of humor in this, though, compared to some of the other books.
No.
There is some situational stuff. We're back to Hermes, and then the Greek goddesses basically are observing everything. Edda looks in the general's file, finds a top secret called Project Ares. On the TV, they see reports of everything's basically falling apart, and she sees that Rogers is basically was it Rod? No, that's not Steve Rogers. It's Steve.
It's Trevor.
Rogers. Yeah, what am I thinking?
I'm the tired one. Thank you.
I know. I'm the older one. I'm losing my memory.
Sure.
So you're going too fast, bro. I'm trying to catch up. So she defeats basically she's going into battle against it. Everybody is basically finding her. Wonder Woman ends up getting her name dubbed by the press because like, oh, we'll create everybody else has Superman stuff, we'll give her 2 W's.
Hulk.
Yes. But she ends up.
Oh my gosh. Old Wonder Woman.
Yes, the old Wonder Woman. She fights against this Decay. Ends up overfeeding her with energy using the lasso of truth, which causes her to basically explode, restoring everybody's youth.
Yep, Decay herself.
Yes, and she grabs the tiara that's off the person, puts it back in her head. Now she has the tiara. You see, you're putting it on just like a Linda Carter would do.
You were wondrous. Your own series under contract. Yeah, so all that information, and she can't understand a word of it.
Why are they surrounding me? Like she's like, it's like I don't like this. They're too close. She flies away. The older sibling basically learns what happened. And he says, like, you idiots, you're messing with our father's plans. You're gonna get us killed.
Yep.
He's like, I should destroy you for your incredible stupidity, but now is not the time. So he basically kicks him in a pool of bile.
Bye.
I'm like acid. Ugh. There you go. They draw the number and they go, yep, she's now Wonder Woman, Mystery and History. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's kind of simple and straight to the point.
Graphic, man.
Every congressman gets out of town. Yes, that's true.
It is true. But no, you said something before about how dramatic it is.
It's like a soap opera, and I love it.
And it's really it hits right. It hits right, and I like it a lot.
Yes, Wonder Woman in a sweater or robe, I guess. And then we see Sophia girl outside, who is sprung out there with a
gun.
What's it called? A flash? Thundering flash.
Thunder Flash.
Thunder Flash.
Who are you?
It's like Hey, please, Wonder Woman. He calls her Wonder Woman because he doesn't know her name. He just knows probably on the paper that she's Wonder Woman. She's like, "Don't stay back." It's like, oh, it's like, and then here comes Julia's like, "Oh, got that man out there. Of course, I saw what he did on the news. He's a horrible being." And it's like, Wonder Woman's like, "Why are you judging him, old cranky lesbian?"
She didn't say it like that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, she just really Julia. It just became like very.
Well,
She became very closed-minded because she believed that it's like, but then Julia says, "You know what? Well, I got a freaking goddess right here. I mean, I guess I can believe it's true. You know that he did do it because he explains everything."
Yeah.
Back at the island. Why won't Paulo answer our wayward daughters? And then we get this. This is cool. We're going back into the Greek lore. Like I forget what they call this.
Mythology?
No, the ship. They call it because they're taking Apollo. Apollo is like in a slumber. To steer across the Styx. The Ark, the Great Ark, Grim Charion.
Oof. There we go. Yeah, no, I didn't.
The design on that though. Look at it's a skeleton, but it's got other stuff on there too. Like that to me, that's creative.
No, it's got a lot to it.
It also makes you want to have waffle fries.
What?
Look at the design of it. Look, the crisscrossing.
Now I gotta go back. It does look like waffle fries. I love how insightful these retrospectives have become without Breen. You know, we never talk about waffle fries when he's around.
No, so they tell her about the project areas. Like the scream we heard earlier is that what's her name hit her head Eddie on the thing because his friend.
1 second. Look at this page. It's look. It's beautiful, just like your mother. No, just with how the text and the action line up, it's great. It's astounding.
Colonel Michaelis, basically shows up and they basically decide to storm the castle. They figure out that using the looking at Trevor's map on the thing he does, realize what's going on, and yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait till she writes a Wonder Woman story. We talk about.
Oh no! But let's just leave her on
the lasso of pasta. No, so they're all. I love how she admires like she's a goddess. Stay on this panel for a second. She zooming in on this. I want to go panel by panel on this just on this page only.
Okay.
Because this is hilarious. Like I was like, at a candy, for example. Go back. I want to read it.
We're going to read it now.
I want to read it. I want to read this out loud. She's a woman, even as I am. And yet she is so stout and so unfit. She's wide enough to be two of me. She's basically fat shaming her.
You're fat.
And this
You're bad at her.
Tongue as does Julia. It's like, and who also wears a golden band upon his finger is Julia. Is it a mark of some sort of a sign of secret union? Because she has no idea.
Married? One called Trevor. His name is Steven Trevor.
Yes, and no, Hermes face are vines. Yes, so basically. But I love then she goes to basically look at the map. You know, that's the next thing after this.
Yes.
This diagram and the secret hands of the Harmonia's talisman. Great Hera, those markings on Trevor's chart. It's an uncompleted star. That's good. The mirror image of the showed in the description. So what she does, she's like realize she can just basically take the mirror and hold the medallion up to the mirror. It allows them to travel into where Deimos is and the rest of the other sons, two other sons.
All the while, war.
Yes, Ares. Because all those sites are nuclear missile sites. Ares wants to basically start a World War III and destroy everything.
Pretty basic plan.
Steve's getting older by the minute.
He is,
Same
isn't
with
he?
Julia. I mean,
Everybody.
they really draw Wonder Woman looking so youthful. It's crazy.
Wow, she's immortal.
Yes. Here comes Steve. He's like, you know, I'm ready, Sarge. Send me in.
Let's go.
Does he have enough weapons? You know. So they go into the portal. And like, she's like, oh, this basically turns into a D&D group.
That's a way to describe it, I suppose. Yeah, you go inside fighting Demos, and
snakes and tentacles. Yeah,
tentacles. Stop.
Oh
no, we don't do that.
Basically, this guy, the Demos uses illusions. Basically, Ida has a fear of being caved in, buried alive. Steve has a fear of of giant spiders. I think it was Steve. Yeah, Steve. Yeah,
Yes.
and then Julia has a fear of drowning, as she almost did when she was a kid. And then Michael has a fear of cats.
No, cat. Anything but the cat.
I know. It's silly, but cats are evil. I understand. I sympathize with them.
What? Cats aren't people?
They're evil. I said I'd say people.
Oh. Those scams.
Yes. No, here we go. More hentai bondage scene right here.
Yeah. With his beard. Oh, that makes it all the worse.
It's run by a man who likes S&M or did like S&M with his wife. I'm sorry. They went to clubs. It's a known thing. By how it's inspired his art. And then we get the scene she throws a tear and it basically cuts the guy's head off. That was cool. I was like,
cool.
And then the other guy is like, well, I'm gonna fight you still, and then
I must flee while I can. Boy.
They go back out, yep. And I gotta say though, it's gonna get a little hairy in the next issue.
This last issue, because there he is. Hey, it's my boy.
It's now entered the chat.
Mario Tamaki, look out. You thought food was a danger.
Well, we all know that Mariko Tamaki is Etta Candy.
The Aries onslaught.
News reports coming over, wars about to happen, missile silos were hijacked.
Can you tell me something? War. What is it good for?
I knew you were going to do that, Zach. Let's go. Next man. Wonder Woman. She's looking very manly. She hasn't shaved in a while.
She needs to take a bath.
She has arm hair and her leg hair.
She
looks like hair. I'm sorry. I know what they're going for dirt and stuff, but
you're saying that looks like hair on her face.
I'm just saying if that's supposed to be dirt, why is Steve next to him in his clothes not dirty?
Because she fought the worst of it.
They were all in a place that looked like hell with the smoke and dirt and dust. I'm sorry, they're all gonna be nasty. It's so basically they went up and they put the portal back. They were back inside the military silos, surrounded by all the goons, and it was about to launch the nukes. And Steve says, "You know what, Angel, go after the guy." She's like, "Don't do that. They'll go after you." Like she's like, and Eddie's like, "If you don't do anything, we're all gonna die anyway." So she goes in there. We get the Wonder Woman theme song playing in her heads as she's battling everybody. Steve makes his way to the door to the control room with launch codes because he doesn't want the guy to launch. It's not dirt; it's tentacle slime. Oof. So Steve jumps in at the last minute, but Wonder Woman tries to go after him, but she's lifting him up, and she goes, but then she gets shocked, but actually she's being transported to another plane existence. Yes, down the rabbit hole goes Diana. While Steve's in there, Steve basically realizes he can't stop the guy, so he shoots him. But then the guy comes back because he's a freaking zombie controlled by Ares.
It looks like something out of House of Horror.
It does. This is crazy. I love this art. Like he's like, see, Steve makes a joke. Like, he's like, man, what does it take to make you stay like keep them dead? You know, it's like they just keep coming back no matter what they do. Ares is just badass in this. God of War. Oh, freaking huge he is.
He's a big boy.
And basically, he's showing her how your friends are all gonna die anyway. It's like you give up, this world's over. I'm gonna remake it my own image through fear and stuff. This is what we do. The humans are meaningless. Basically, tries to talk her into basically like just giving up. Then she realizes that I'm a woman. I don't have to listen to this crap. Fights against him.
I am woman. Hear me roar.
She goes, leaps at him and tries to fight him, and then he gets the best of her. She's choking to death. He basically swats around like nothing. She's basically this like nothing. She's weak.
She's fighting a god.
Yeah, she's fighting a god. She's suffering. She's like and then you see they're talking. They're like, oh, great, we gotta stop this. And they're trying to hack the computer and all that stuff, and then turn around. It's the living dead. I'm sorry. They're all like either on fire or they got really nasty like gas bubbles coming out or something.
Yeah, it's all gross.
So they out and then they start firing at them. The undead soldiers are firing at them with machine guns still. Everybody's even the goddesses down below in the page before. They're at the river Styx because if they lose, they're gonna die. She's the last hope for them too. And they're like, sister, we're not gonna go because we have faith in Diana. Diana throws the last little truth around him. It squeezes Harry's tighter and tighter until he basically just explodes. But also, and it's because before he explodes, though, Harry's is shown what is his future with nobody left alive. He'll be the earth will be cold, barren, and he basically will just be all alone. Same thing with it's funny because they did the same thing with Vandal Savage in the Justice League animated series. After he destroys the world, he's the only one left alive and so lonely. So Ares basically said it's like, oh my gosh, you show me this, but I give you this warning though. If you the hearts of man, the fate of man is in your hands, but if you cannot handle it, I will be back. You've been warned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with that warning, it's pretty much.
The guy's like, no, my power, I'm melting. The zombie falls over. He goes through some portal, at least one of the Marvel, through Carnage. Everything is basically saved. They save the day. He's standing there holding her, and he's like, can someone get her a shave?
No.
Yes. So that's 1 through 6. 7 was kind of like an epilogue. But led into another story. But that's another time. But I gotta say, going through this, it was a long read. I was reading. I'm like, how many pages is this? I had to look. I'm like, it's 32 pages because it was just long because dialogue.
I was originally planning on us just doing the first issue to talk about, but
but we don't do that on this channel. We give you the full story here. If we don't, we give you a first half this week, and the next half will be next week. But I figured, since the other boys don't want to play ball with us tonight, we'll do our own.
Hey, we'll play with our ball. Play with them ourselves.
Wow. So this is my first read through this. I gotta say, I'm excited to read more of the Perez story, but I mean, it's gonna take me a while because unlike today's comic books, these books were not really written for the trade. They had stories. Yes, they had 6-issue stories, sometimes or from the 3 or 4, but the dialogue in there was actually useful to the plot, the story, and there was so much more drawn and everything. Perez added so much detail. You're going to be going back, and as you've done reading the dialogue, you're looking back and looking at all the art and just in awe, because that is all great. That's what I love about Cross Crisis DC, is that the talent was put into these books, the heart and soul, and they made sure that you appreciate everything they did because they really really wanted to make it special. George Perez really wanted to make it. He looked up Greek mythology. Did research on that, even had people helping him out with that. He just wanted everything to be great. And he's something he says I blame John Byrne. Why I am stuck on Wonder Woman because if John Byrne would have taken over as post-crisis for Superman, he wouldn't inspire George Perez to basically the right for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Same with Frank Miller. Frank Miller did before Post Crisis. Frank Miller did Batman Year One, which George Perez was also a fan of as well.
Well,
You just see how they shaped and created these characters.
question anyone who isn't a fan of Batman Year One. Anyone. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're Frank Miller's #1 hater. If you hate Batman Year One, there's something wrong with you. It's a blanket statement, but I'm not going to budge.
Yes,
it's perfection.
Miss So says, "I love the way they did the hair back then." Me too. The detail. I believe it was
Perez. Insane.
Was Perez also on with drawing Starflare on Titans? I believe. Was it Wolverine Perez, right? So that's where you're getting the same kind of hairstyle that
big, bouncy, good. Yes. So anyway, I do want to say it's amazing how something that's this old, it's from 87, can look so much better than any book on the shelves today. Like, seriously, there's just a loss in art when it comes to modern comic books. Like, it's sad. I'm depressed now.
These books are 35 years old. I'm only 2 years older than them. So, I mean, this is the first time reading for me because I've been working my way through. I've been trying to get through post-crisis and I'm reading through the Triangle era of Superman.
Yeah.
So, and then not only that, we have Justice League Europe I have to tackle. Read some more of that, Justice League International. It's just JSA in general. There's so many books. I mean, I found out as being a comic book fan. I started in 2003 as Marvel, and then I left the company, or as far as like left the hobby for 9 years.
Yeah.
And like I say, coming back to reading these old DC stuff has really inspired me to basically just enjoy what there was. And even if I don't enjoy what's out today, you know, I can still have so much to read. And like that's what's great about these books. Going back to that, I definitely say check out this if you haven't bought these out. They do have, I believe, an omnibus, or if you don't want to go that, these are all available on Comixology, also on the DC Infinite app, which we use today to show you basically all the different panel by panel. It's great about that. It's DC Infinite is awesome on your iPad as well. Yes.
Ignore that. Yes. Mistakes. It's late. I'm tired.
All right, so
let's end this.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up now, because we're going to be talking about She-Hulk. Well, not us. We got the puppets. They're kicking us out.
They're back. So I know. I'm sorry.
I know. I heard them. Froggy told me to say, "No, you stupid son of a bitch." And this. So we're gonna do that right now. If you want to donate to this channel, there's a link down below, the ko-fi.com/Palpatine. If you haven't already done so, click like and also leave a comment down below. Do you think this was really good, as everybody says it is, or do you think it was kind of like, that's all right? And if so, if you don't think this is great, what other Wonder Woman story do you think is better than this, and why? Tell us why.
No.
So we'll see you in a few minutes on the channel.
Well, not us.
Yes. They don't get the idea.
Goodbye.